Well, let's get straight to the point. Sonic CD is a very divisive game, but everyone can agree the soundtrack is excellent, even the American one. So there's this channel here with lots of interesting music and covers, and I recommend checking it out, where quite a good amount of polls were posted asking what were the best tracks on the game. Curiously enough, that led to many people voting for Cosmic Eternity, the Japanese ending song, as being the best and highest quality track. I left a comment explaining briefly why it's such a great song for me, and the owner wanted to know more of my opinion and analysis of it. So here it goes. This is why Cosmic Eternity is the best of Sonic CD's OST. Firstly, you may or may not have noticed I make music myself, even if I am a beginner. This video is not gonna have as much quality as I expected, since my phone just broke and I used that to record better audio, and my laptop's a potato from the early 2010s, so I'm literally using Movie Maker and Paint to make this one. I can't explain everything in detail, unfortunately, since that will take hours of speaking, and I'll try to only focus on what I know about music in general, but I hope it's understandable. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about anything. Getting the elephants on the room out of the way now, after analyzing the song enough, it's clear that there's aspects from all over the soundtrack mixed as one here. After the calm, melancholic intro going into the most energetic sections of the song, it's possible to hear the main influences of Quartz Quadrant and Stardust Speedway. Quartz Quadrant shows itself through the bass line, which is practically identical but pitched differently, and a bit of the drums in the transitions with tension and intensity. Stardust Speedway infects the melody and some of the impact instrumentation, which consists of the brass, the orchestral hits and stuff like that, but it's all less funky and more action-packed.
You feel tight, look at yourself. Inside your heart you will find your special place to unlock.
We can tie more of the previous tracks from the game to this, considering there's elements of call and response, improvisation, and other techniques present in this one. There's even a section that almost sounds like an nod to the end credits music from Sonic 2's Game Gear version, which, if you didn't know, had Masafumi Ogata and Naofumi Hataya as composers too. And maybe this one part has some connection to Eggman's theme. It's probably not intentional.
You feel tight, look at yourself. Inside your heart you will find your special place to unlock.
The intro already starts creating a sense of rhythm with the chords and a faint close hi-hat, or maybe a shaker, underneath. The melodies from the bright piano full of high-frequency harmonics lift themselves, while the warm synth pad stops repeating and goes along, lifting as well. Also, strings get mixed with the pad for dramatic effect, and drums take the vibe from 808 and 909 based EDM from the time. They're not too varied nor too repetitive. It's possible to hear what I'd say is a high Q and a synth kick like these ones. The background piano repeats a bit, but it's varied enough and mixes greatly with the well-textured drum patterns and the progression coming next. And then it hits! The song smoothly transforms into the Act Clear theme, highlighting the mood of completion it wants to show. Paying close attention, we can hear how dynamic changes happen in the structure. The synth pad stops for a moment, and the hi-hats speed up to enhance the tension effect of the power snare's roll transition. We can also hear the diversity of timbres that appear from the changes in focus from one instrument to another, mainly through the piano, the vocals, drums, and brass. The impact instruments create harmony with the song's other layers, and it seems like they either reverted the orchestra hit or made the attack slower, creating a fade effect, but I don't know. Until this point there was already some tempo alterations and other techniques used, but they keep appearing to make the sounds even more complex and nuanced. One thing that makes it even better is depth. For example, the vocals seem to be recorded at different distances from the mic in this section.
In the end, who's on your side? Who can you trust? In the middle of the night, where will you be? If you can't find you, there's no place.
The layering of tonalities and different instruments used to stress the main focus creates a feel of sounds coming from all sides. Some bits of silence are used in a very clever way as well. The composition leaves space for a great range of pitches, and some instruments go through a pretty big range from the lowest to highest notes. In this section, the bass changes, adding more points to the dynamic context that goes so well with Sonic's character.
Hey!
Extraordinary things can happen if you believe in yourself.
And did you notice the bass changes again to sync with the snare? The piano also changes with an interesting play on the sustains, cuts, and releases.
If you want respect from your friends,
Don't rearrange, no need to sell. Hey!
extraordinary things can happen if you believe in yourself.
Cosmic Eternity mixes calmness and intensity in a masterful way, and in the next part, a faint arpeggio adds even more into the mix.
You feel tight, look at yourself. Inside your heart, you will find a special place to align. When you feel tight, look at
After the Act Clear section, the song opens a question directly to the listener. Middle of the night could be interpreted as the feeling of being lost, stuck in a problem with no apparent solution, in the darkness, in a situation where it might be difficult for others to understand or want to help. This gets further emphasized with the next part, which refers indirectly to you as the light, a guiding point to escape the shadows. But without finding and understanding yourself, without a direction, there's quite literally no place to go, nothing to do.
Extraordinary things can happen if you believe in yourself. You got to have a faith in yourself if you want respect from your friends.
And if you want to reach that light, you need confidence, practice, and action.
Don't rearrange, no need to change. Stay like you are. Keep it all the same. But as you move along in your life, keep an open mind. And don't forget that if you gotta do something, believe in yourself.
Sometimes you have to believe and fight for change from inside if you want change from the outside. Just as sonic speed is rewarded with freedom of movement by the levels, and all the time you have the potential to use your skill, knowledge, and environment as an advantage. It's the same game, but how it plays and depends on the person in control and their objectives, on how far they're willing to go and to know. A will to keep going and to adapt, to overcome your problems is the key for a better future. If you just take the first step, just like the quote from the Japanese box art, to live a life of power, you must have faith that what you believe is right, even if others tell you you're wrong. The first thing you must do to live a life of power is to find courage. You must be ready to reach beyond the boundaries of time itself. And to do that, all you need is the will to take that first step. Ask not what others can do for you, but what you can do for others.
Inside your heart you will find a special place to align. When you feel right, look at yourself. Inside your mind you see connected eternity.
If you take a moment to think, to understand and see the solutions for your life, and to know you can learn from everyday things, to see that your mind, your consciousness is a gift of potential waiting to be used, you'll be able to see hope, that while you have control, everything's gonna be alright. I don't think I need to say more about the lyrics.
Inside your heart you will find a special place to align. When you feel right, look at yourself. Inside your mind you will see connected eternity.
I hear the influences of techno and house mainly, and some aspects of disco, hip-hop, funk, even new jack swing and jazz, but I don't think it could be assigned to a single genre. Just feels like they wanted to express as much of the culture from the context of that time as they could, and it works. Of course, some influences are stronger than others, and there's a lot of overlapping. It's clear how different it is from the rest of the OST, since it's the longest track in duration and it's also not built to loop like the others, but it's a great listen. It's amazing how this came out in 1993, and if you hear a lot of music from that era, you probably have the sensation that this works almost like a time capsule of references to that culture. It's a great third parallel to You Can Do Anything along with Metallic Madness, Bad Future. Those three form a triangle of balance between both points. The song can be confident, hopeful, inspiring, melancholic, strong, positive, dramatic, and much more, but it gets even better since they put care on making an outstanding job with the stereo panning as an advantage to get a sound with more depth, less distortion, and more effects. The high, mid, and low pitches are separated as shown. At least that's how it sounds to my ears, and the channels sound like this. Since my earphones are broken on one side, I didn't hear that difference at first, but when I tested it on other speakers, I was blown away by the quality. It's unbelievable how this was made for a Blu-ray video game, which to some people might seem simple and stupid, but to me, there's no doubt this is pure art, and the themes of mental health scattered across the game are simply genius. So that was the video. I hope you all liked that, and if you think I missed something, feel free to comment. Maybe if you make videos too and you want to use this topic, feel free to do so and expand on it. Big thanks to Sonic Stuff channel for recommending me to make this, to the creators of the game, the two composers and the singers who did a pretty good performance on this song, Keiku Toku and Casey Rankin. I don't know if I'll have to make a version of this in Brazilian Portuguese now, since that's my audience's main language, but well, maybe if this hits a good amount of views, I'll do it. Thanks for watching, bye.